My name is Beecher Howard. I'm from Tucson, Arizona in the US, and I'm here representing myself, Coilturd. Crazy name, but when I first started my Instagram, this is probably 5 years ago, I never expected it to ever get to where it's at now. So like the Coilturd, my buddy calls me Beach Turd. So that was just like my first thing, Coilturd. And it caught on like wildflower. So since then, can't change it once it gets to that point, you know? Like I started smoking when I was 12, and a buddy of mine would steal cigarettes from his mom. She'd buy cartons, she'd leave them all over her house, and she'd open multiple ones, so she never knew. You know, we would take cigarettes and we'd go hang out underneath bridges and just chain smoke cigarettes at 12. I still remember getting like the really big head buzz and like almost throwing up, being sick. And I don't really think I caught the addiction at that point in time, but I really started smoking heavily when I was 15, 16, 17. I would skateboard with people, you know, we were always out, never had parents with us, and smoked cigarettes all the way until I was 23 years old, the first time I got an e-cig. I went and bought a fresh pack of cigarettes, and then I went straight to a vape shop, and this place is called Freedom Smoke USA, and they have like 2,000 different liquids, because they were, at the time, people were still mixing it, you know, in their shop, you know. And so I went in there and I was trying a bunch of different flavors, and so I got set up with that setup, got my bottle, and it was 18 milligram, and I went to my car, I lit up a cigarette, I took about 3 hits of it, and then tossed it out the window, and never smoked since. My buddy Will, he was the first one I saw with the vape device, and so he's the one that showed me. And I picked up, you know, the cartomizer, and then he was the same guy. He came over to my house one day and he's like, check this out, you know, blew a big cloud, and I was like, I want to do that. Like, what is that? How do I get that started? And so he's like, go to Fast Tech, you know, because at the time no one had RDAs, no one had any of that in the shops.
They were expensive.
Yeah, they were expensive, like penny mods. My first one was a Patriot RDA, but it was a clone. It was a clone from you know, just from China.
Did you drill your post holes?
I did, but it took me like a month to drill it. So I was like trying to fit wire through those tiny holes, you know, and I would go buy foot pieces of wire. So the vape shop would sell me for $1 a foot of wire. And so I started wrapping coils. And then that just went into a full-blown hobby. All night, all day, that's all I would do. And at the time, it was still when people were doing just round wire builds. And then Twisted Messes was the first guy who did the fused Clapton, you know, and so I was one of the pioneers of doing new builds back in the day, and then that just turned into someone asking me if they could buy a set of coils, and then that turned into the business that it is now. Yeah. As far as coils go, I'm going to start doing a mouth to lung series, because I have 14 different specs of coils right now, and they're all for RDAs, or you know, rebuildable tanks, lower ohms. But a lot of people are asking for like a 0.8 ohm coil, because a lot of people are using like the little AIOs or the rebuildables, billet boxes and things like that. So mouth to lung coils, it's going to be a whole series. I think I'm going to do 3 or 4 for the coils. I'm vaping on my new liquid. I did a collaboration with a manufacturing company in Indonesia. It's called Bule Bolu, which means a foreigner's cake. And so bolu is banana cake, and like everybody's grandma has their own recipe. So depending on who you ask, they'll say it means this, or it looks like this, or it, you know, it tastes like this. I'm vaping the Keen Mech with my new RDA that was released at the show, and it's called the Coilturd RDA, but on the box I put an RDA for vaping, because with the whole marketing side of people, you know, going on about the kids and bad marketing. I want it to be as straightforward as possible. So this is an RDA for vaping. And there's no pictures, there's no nothing. It's literally a white box and it says an RDA for vaping on it. Instagram's @Coilturd. Website is coilturd.com. In the UK, most of my products are sold with Ohm's distro. They just now started a retail website, ohms.co.uk.